I don't know if this is working or not. Okay, I think I'm finally live. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful experience life is. Okay, so I'm Mindy Arbuckle, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys, my soul sisters and brothers. I am coming to you today with a lot of openness and a lot of heart and some vulnerability to share a really true story that just happened to me this week and how I got through it and how you can use this to inspire you. Because what I love to do is to use what I'm going through as fuel for learning and expansion and growth. And I love to share those expansions and growths with you to help you get through those same things. Okay. So I think I just spent about 5 minutes telling you about this without actually recording it. So that was fantastic. I just got practice, I guess. Okay, so wonderful blessing happened on Monday. My sister-in-law came and she said, you know what? You guys have a date night. And my husband's leaving on Tuesday, so Monday night was the last time we get to have together. And she's like, go have fun. So my husband and I take her up on it. We go out to dinner. And we're just having some small talk, and I'm just sharing some excitement about my new business, spiritual coaching with him. And I started this coaching business almost exactly the same timing that COVID hit the US, okay? So as you can imagine, starting a new business right as COVID shuts everything down, maybe not the best time to start a business, but that's what happened. That's how it all worked. And I also became a homeschool mom at that time. I mean, like so much. So anyways, we're sitting there and I'm sharing some excitement because I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations and haven't had the an amount of clients that I would like, but it's moving in the right direction, as you can imagine. And so I just shared some excitement with him, and he said, it's not working, Mindy. And he just crushed all of my joy and all of my excitement and basically looked at my business from every angle that he could see it from and said, it's not working, it's failing, you're failing, you're failing, you're failing. Oh my goodness. So as you can imagine, that was like a sucker punch. I did not expect that at all. And most of the time, what usually happens when somebody tells you how terrible you're doing, how bad of a person you're being, how terrible of a business owner you are, you just want to defend yourself or go run and hide, right? Because you take it personally. And my biggest success out of this whole storm that I went through on Monday night was that I could hold my own, that I could see that he was speaking to me from his perspective. And it wasn't my fault that he was speaking to me from this perspective. It's what he's going through. So I was able to not take it personally and sit in my power and hear his words clearly and respond with empathy and with love and sometimes a little extra emotion. But I will be honest with you, if he would have done that 2 years ago, a year ago even, I think I would have had a freaking meltdown. I would have wanted to run out of the restaurant, bawled my eyes out, and felt like a failure. I would have taken on his beliefs. Has anybody ever been there? Have you ever done that? Where somebody else, especially someone that you care about, just tries to take a wrecking ball to whatever you're doing, whatever you're feeling really good about, they try and tear it down. You know, my husband did it to me this time, but we've all experienced it with siblings, with parents. I know a lot of women tell me that their mothers are the person who does this to them. I know a lot of men who say their fathers are the person who does this to them. You know, sometimes it's a best friend who's not really a best friend. And they really try to steal your joy and try to steal your dream. And the most potent reason why they're doing this is because they're reflecting their disbelief of your dream to you. Like they can't do it. So therefore they're going to try and tear yours down. And they don't do it generally from a place of, I'm trying to hurt you, even though it feels so hurtful. Oh, it feels terrible, terrible. But what if you started to say, oh, this person's going through a lot and have a little bit of understanding and compassion for the other person so that you don't have to fight back, that you don't have to react automatically like a viper snapping at somebody. You can just be present for the conversation. And I will tell you, it was a very uncomfortable conversation. There were some tears shed because it hits home so deeply. He was attacking me in my work, and that is something that I am so deeply passionate about because I help people, I serve people. And that's like having somebody tell you that you're no good at it or that you're never going to be successful at it. That's really like he was trying to hurt me where it would hurt the most, I think. Not consciously, just that's what happened. So then, okay, we finish up dinner. We drive to the hot springs because that was part of the night. I mean, so how bad could it be? We ended up at the hot springs. And just kind of, he just sort of shut down and wouldn't talk anymore. And that's kind of fine. That's my husband. That's how he is. And so I was just sort of soaking there, letting things flow, letting things move through me. And it was nice. We just spent 20 to 30 minutes at the hot springs, came home, done. He was done. He didn't want to talk anymore. And honestly, I didn't really either. So I went to bed at about 9:30. I'll be honest, I ruminated for about 4 or 5 hours, not sleeping, thinking about everything that had transpired. And I think a lot of people do this. Like you'll go to bed because something just happened and you're exhausted, but you can't go to sleep. You just think about it and try and figure it out. And again, one of the wins that I want to acknowledge myself for was I was hovering in between being sucked down into a vortex of negativity and self-deprecation, between that and trying to lift my vibration, but I just couldn't quite lift my vibration. So I was sort of in the middle, but I didn't go down into that negative Nelly that is so common for so many of us. By just breathing and just by observing instead of really truly, instead of taking it so deeply personal and letting the small self rule, I was allowing my higher self to rule. And eventually I did go to bed. And eventually the next morning, Brian left. And I was honestly grateful that I had a little bit of space to just breathe and be myself. And then I went back on that next day to my go-to rituals, my go-to tools to help me realign. So I'm just going to share with you a couple of those things because they can be tools that you can go to as well. But it also might jog your memory of what are your go-to tools that you can use when you get blindsided, when you get sucker punched, and you want to come back to yourself, because that's really what's going to get you through it, is coming back to yourself. It doesn't matter who sucker punched you or how big of a blindside it was. You have to own who you are. And that is only happening if you can tap into what is truest, your highest self. That part of you is going to get you through. She always gets you through to whatever you're facing. Okay, so some of those go-to tools, meditation, always meditation, right? For me, it is. I just sat down in the morning. I think I got up earlier than normal and just sat down because I wasn't sleeping anyways. It's crystals. And the first crystal I chose was a smoky quartz because it helps you to suck out negative energy and protect you from more of it. And there was still plenty of negative energy going on. And then it was movement. So I talked with some really trusted people yesterday. People who are other coaches who I trust and who are part of my team. And they could really help me through the business side of things. And one of them was really also keen on sharing her experience with husbands. The other two weren't married, so they didn't have that option. But that helped me to just clear up a lot of the business gunk, because they can relate and they can also see what I am doing and can relate to how I'm helping serve. And then I talked to my sister-in-law because she's here right now, perfect timing. And she could help me relate to my husband, to a relationship and how to get through with that. So that was great. And then I moved. I just did some asana. Like that's actually my yoga mat right there behind me still. It's still out because I want to try and keep moving this. Because you don't want to let stagnant energy build up. You don't want that negative heavy weight to build up in you. Okay. So you got to move. You got to get out and do something for yourself, whether it's a walk, some asana, yoga practice, jogging, whatever you want to do. Get outside and do some movement. Okay. The next one that I used was smudging. And the really cool thing about this one is that in the past, I had, when I started using smudging to clear negative energy, it was almost always for me. And I was clearing everybody else's negative energy and any of mine that I could get rid of. And so I was smudging. And I did it almost every day for several years. And yesterday, I don't have to do it every day anymore because I'm better at warding off negative energy. But yesterday I didn't smudge myself, I smudged my spaces. So the space where my husband and I share, our bedroom, I smudged his office because I needed to do something in there. And I smudged our family room, just like clear the air. Okay. So smudging was great. And then I actually allowed myself to be coached today. So I'm working with a coach and I really opened up and I was vulnerable with her and she helped me move some of this as well. And then I just laid down. And I put crystals all over me. And some of them are here, like some petalite and ocean jasper. Oh my gosh. I just put a ton of crystals on me. Okay. Just showing you some of them. And the crystals are my friends, right? I don't need them anymore, but damn, do I love them, right? Okay. And then these two are my friends for the last 2 days. There's a heliodor and a petalite. I don't know how good you can see those, but they're my friends. And then sitting here, just sometimes I like to play with my big ball of moonstone. But everybody has different needs. And so that's why the crystals are fun, because crystals can help you to really hone in on what you need. And you don't have to even know the name of the crystal or why you need it. If it just calls to you, grab it, hold on to it, put it in your pocket, put it in your bra if it's small enough, whatever. And I just laid down for 30, 40 minutes and gave myself space to rest, to turn inward, to shut off the outside world. I put an eye pillow on. And do you know what? In a day and a half, I'm back. I'm back to me. I don't feel any residual shit from that sucker punch. I'm actually really grateful that it happened, because everything is happening for us, not to us. Everything is happening for us. And when you have a worldview that includes everything's happening through me and for me, boom, everything becomes a learning lesson. And the other really neat sort of coincidence, synchronicity, was when I opened up my email on Tuesday. So many messages about forgiveness, about love is the only thing that's real, about failing and what the benefits of failing are. And this one was from Marie Forleo, and she had this great acronym for FAIL. It said, faithful attempts in learning. Faithful attempts in learning. I mean, how freaking great is that? Because the only difference between someone who fails and someone who doesn't isn't the failure itself. It's that the person who doesn't fail gets back up after having a setback. There's not really any failure happening. And so as much as somebody will tell you that you're failing, or that you're basically, what he was telling me is like, you can't make money doing what you love. Nobody does that, or so few people do it. And what I said to him is, there are people who do it, so why the hell can't I? Right? Like, we have to see that there are strategies out there. There are people out there who are doing exactly what you want to be doing. And there are other people out there who are supporting you from the background. And really allow yourself to tap back into your strength, into your superpower, into your identity of your soul self, because that soul self is what gets you through the really hard times. And self-mastery is getting you through those tough times quicker. Period. Self-mastery is not that you don't have shit happen to you anymore. Self-mastery is not that you you don't cry anymore. Self-mastery is not that you don't have emotions and that you're numb and that you don't have desires. Self-mastery is when the storm hits, how long does it take you to recuperate? How long does it take you to stand back up and own who you are? And that's it. And that's the practice. That's the practice of it. And the more you practice it, the stronger and stronger you become at who you want to be. And that, my dear friends, that's what I love to help people with, is to really see it all as blessings, to own all of you, to really truly embrace your superpowers, to know what they are so that you can lead the best life possible. And you're not going to let anybody knock you off your center. And if they do, you're going to get back up. Do you remember those punching bags we had when we were kids that had sand in the bottom? And you'd punch it and it'd go to the ground and it'd pop back up? That's you. That's me. That's what we're doing here with our spiritual practices, is that anytime you get sucker punched, you have the choice to stay down or to get back up. And you have the ability to go back to your rituals, to the practices that you know work for you. Even if you haven't tapped into them for a while, go back to them. Let them remind you of how freaking amazing you are. And come back into your beingness. Come back into your center and your joy and your light and your inner strength and your empowerment. Know yourself fully. That's self-mastery. All right. If you want this and you're ready to do this now and you're not willing to go another day without figuring yourself out, because you know it's an inside job, you know that there's stuff inside of you that you've got to get cleared out, that's when we need to work together. And that's my honor and my joy to be able to do this. My program is called Sacred Fulfillment and it is freaking amazing and you will love it. And I'm so sorry, men, all these messages are for you, but my program is just for women right now because I work with my soul sisters because we need the support right now. And I know men do too, but I love you guys. Right now, my program's just for the ladies. And I'm calling in soul sisters right now to start this journey before we wrap up 2020 so that you can move into 2021 with more ease, more grace, more power, more potency than you've ever had before. More aligned with you, and you can show up at your Christmas gatherings if you gather and really be that bright shining light that the world needs you to be. Okay, if you want to do that, just schedule a call with me. It's totally free. I love to talk with you. It's mindyarbuckle.com/talk. That's it. It's so simple. You'll see my schedule. Pick a time that's convenient to you and fill out a short form and we'll talk. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for my husband, for the shitstorms sometimes. Thankfully, they're not every day. I'm so grateful for so much. And I think that it's a good day right now for you just to put your hand on your heart and remember what you're grateful for too. Okay. So much love and gratitude to you. I do love you. I do appreciate you. And I look forward to our time together. Bye. Have a beautiful day.